How important is it to feel like a part of your course's community?
I think that when you're in your course at uni, uni can be quite an isolating experience because you might be, in your room studying, you're spending long hours of the day maybe on your laptop. So if you're doing that alone without other people on your course, then I think uni becomes somewhat of a negative experience. But at the same time, I started at uni during COVID. So that was a very strange kind of start to my experience. We didn't have freshers, we couldn't really move into halls properly. I really struggled to talk to people on my course. Now, I think something that my course did quite well was we had these fireside chats where a few people would just log on to Teams, and the dean of my school would be on there, some of the lecturers would be on there, and we'd just have a chat. But the problem was that didn't go past COVID. So after the first year, I didn't really know anyone for quite a while. And it's only now that I'm in my third year that I've started to speak to some of the people on my course and actually get to know them. But that's also because I'm doing other things like societies, and I'm working at the uni as well. And I'm getting to know them through that. And then we just find out we have the same modules. So I don't know, I think there's more that can be done to help people on the course connect to one another, especially I can be quite introverted, especially if you're more that sort of personality.
What's your experience of different ways of being taught at the university? Have you been taught a concept in an interesting way that stuck with you?
I think possibly in biology we have quite an interesting experience where a lot of different people teach us because different people are experts in their field. And one of the modules I have now, we have entirely honorary lecturers, so they all come from the LSTN. And I've definitely noticed there's a big difference between the way that they teach us. Like their lectures are a lot more interactive. When we go in, we have 2 hours of discussion and chatting, whereas most of my biology-based lecturers that are from the uni, they're not as interactive with us. It's good to have a balance of both because either way I feel like it can get a bit much because sometimes I don't want to spend 2 hours talking but it needs to have a balance.
When you've made a mistake or gotten a lower than expected grade in an assessment, do you know afterwards where you went wrong and how to improve?
I think I'd try emailing the lecturer, but we've had quite a few situations, especially when we do online tests, where they tend not to give us the answers, which is really, really frustrating because how do you tell what you've done wrong if you don't have the answers? But they say they have reasons for this, which whatever, that's fine. But they don't give us enough information on how we can improve. It's just kind of, you've done it, it's done and dusted. But that's why I do prefer when we get given essays, because they give us detailed feedback. I think there's actually a situation that happened recently where I had a lecturer who put a comment on Teams, and this is a module that's 400 people because it's a research project. And in this, he put a comment about people asking him questions and it already being in the handbook, and he answered the question in the end, but it felt very unnecessary. And I think that sometimes lecturers just don't think about what students' experiences are. So, someone with dyslexia can't necessarily wade through a 45-page document. Someone like me who has a hearing impairment, it takes me twice as long quite often to do lectures because I have to rewatch them all. And there's a lot of difficulties that students have that when you live them every day, you might just kind of struggle through them. But lecturers forget that sometimes.